It's going to be my big break in Hollywood.
This is your big break. Larry, this is your big break in Hollywood. Oh, they're recording. John Tilford. And have with us today Larry. I'm not going to give the last name so people won't harass him. But Larry has been through two things that irritate me a lot. And that's two of the many reasons I want to go to Congress and see if we can do something about this. Larry, let me first ask you about your experience with your service-connected disability claim through the Department of Veterans Affairs. Can you walk me through what happened there?
Well, I came to you first in March of 2004, and we applied to the normal process as we did. Got turned down quite a few times. We ended up going to hearings 3 times, I think, in Indianapolis, and got turned down by them there. And now we applied to, and then we appealed to the Court of Appeals, and actually won the Court of Appeal case, as far as I'm concerned, because Judge Mormon agreed, with the point of my case, and but he reprimanded it back to the Veteran Affairs, and that's where we're at now, a standstill.
Well, and again, to run by that down the same path here with you, it's 2004, and you'd already served what 2 separate enlistments honorably with the Army. Went back in the 3rd time, and here I am, 65 now. But the Army thought you were old enough and been out long enough. They made you go through basic training again. Basically blew out your left foot in Fort Dix. And then when you and I filed for that, they had a little technicality they turned you down on, but the Indianapolis Regional Office turned you down. We filed an appeal with them, they turned you down again. We filed an appeal, well, I had to do it twice for that because they messed up the first hearing. We had to do 2 hearings with the Indianapolis Regional Office. We filed with the Board of Veterans Appeals out of D.C. A gentleman came out to Indianapolis, and we thought we had him convinced, but gave him some other information from Army Times and such. He, unfortunately, if he did agree with us, we didn't find out about that because the decision we got by mail was another denial from the Board of Veterans Appeals. And then we tried the U.S. Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims, and we found out that veterans low income, and by this time you're on total disability and Social Security, which I'm going to come back to here in a minute, they could waive the filing fees. And we got on the docket, and then we tried to get pro bono representation, and Pro Bono Veterans Consortium turns you down, thought your case was a loser, and they want to allocate their resources for their cases they're pretty sure they're going to win, or hope they can win. And we did it ourselves. You did your fill-in-the-blank self-representation form, because I'm not an attorney, so I can't formally represent you. But the court let me file an intervener's brief, which I did. And the Judge Mormon, as you said, did a bench decision in your favor. Sent it back to the Board of Veterans Appeals, saying, you reconsider this. They reworded a denial, and still the same technicality. This time, the pro bono people decided to represent you, and did a 34-page brief.
Masterpiece.
Sent it to the U.S. Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims, and we're waiting on that response now. In that 34 pages, they use many citations. You and I both feel they've got the VA boxed in at this point. But I thought it was gratifying that one of those citations used was the one you and I did about a year and a half before that.
Set precedents.
So here we are in 2012, early March, and you and I filed this thing to start with in 2004. So maybe it might be within 8 years, probably a little over 8 years, when this thing is finally resolved in your favor. Now, the facts of this case have never changed. So the evidence on your Army medical records, on the surgeon's medical records that finally corrected the problem, which the Army misdiagnosed twice. So but the facts have never changed. So 8 years later, we hope that you're going to win your case. And all that will happen then is the VA will be forced to consider your claim for disability. And in my opinion, you might get 20% out of that, or roughly $230 a month. Back pay with no interest.